Surprise and good Shabbos. I came all the way out to California tonight to be with you and to honor you as you begin to wind up your quarter century on this pulpit. Dear, dear, dear friend Elie, I don't remember when you weren't a part of my life. There must have been such a time, but I can't remember what it was, when it was. It seems to me that I've always had you as a friend, as a model, and as a listening ear. And so I consider it to be a very great honor to be invited to pay tribute to you tonight on behalf of the many, many people who love you and who learn from you and who wish you very well as you enter a new stage in your life. It would be very easy to make up a dayenu of all the things that you have taught me, beginning with small matters and going on and on and on and on. First, I marvel at the way you preach. You stand between those two lecterns on your pulpit without a single note, and you state your case without ever hesitating or groping or looking for a word. And that's enough to win the admiration of somebody like me who tries to give sermons, but who wouldn't think of doing it without having a text in front of me. Second, I marvel at what you say. Your sermons are always clear and honest. You talk out of your own experiences. You tell your people what you've learned from your journeys around the world, from parenting your children, from listening to your wife. You tell them what you stand for and what you believe in, with no bluffing, no equivocation. Third, I marvel at the way you finish your sermons. You end by talking to God and by telling him what you need and what you care about. And all of us who listen, I know I do, feel like we're eavesdropping on a real conversation. This is a time when very few people, including rabbis, know anything about how to talk to God. And the honest, straightforward way in which you do it makes all of us sense the possibility that God can really be a part of our lives. Fourth, I marvel at the way you help me and many other rabbis, I suspect, with our sermons. More than once when I've been stuck, I brainstorm with you. And you help me clarify what I'm trying to say. It's a gift that very few other rabbis have. And I must tell you, I've never, ever heard you say, I'm sorry, I'm busy now, call back some other time. Or I'm busy today, why don't you call somebody else? You've never said that to me, and I'm very grateful for that. Fifth is the way you work with your congregation. Most of us are satisfied to impress our people by our oratory, and then to sit back and wait for their approval as if we were actors on a stage. You don't do that. You take the theme of your high holidays services and you make them the springboards for people to study together at home for weeks either before or after the holidays. I can only imagine how many Kavruta programs you've created. You've transformed your people from a docile, passive, listening congregation into a caring and studying congregation in which people listen and learn from each other the implications of what you've given them to think about. That's a real blessing, because most of our conversations around the water cooler are very superficial, and most of our conversations around the dinner table are usually void of real content. And then there's that Psalms class that you now teach twice a week. You do 3 things in them, any one of which would be a great achievement. First, You teach them at the level of pshat. What do they originally mean? And then you teach these same words over again in terms of what's been read into and what's been read out of them down through the centuries. And then, and this is probably the hardest of all, you talk about what do they mean to us here and now. I got to tell you, I eavesdrop on your Psalms class whenever I can, and I'm always amazed by how you're able to make these words come alive at all three levels. The effort that you put into these classes must be, I don't know, enormous. And therefore, one of my wishes for you tonight is may you continue studying and teaching the Psalms after you retire. May you be blessed with the challenge of turning your notes into a book so that future generations, as well as this one, may learn from them. And then, and this is probably the most important of all, I'm grateful for the way you care about me and your other friends and your congregants when we need you. I know how caring you were to me when during my recent bereavement. Your listening ear and your sage advice was very helpful to me at a time when I felt lonely and depressed and isolated and cut off. And I tell you now in public what I don't know if I've told you in private, which is that I will treasure the blessing of the kindness that you showed me during my time of loss. And I'm sure that I speak for many, many other people in many, many places who share gratitude to you for that good deed. For getting me through my bereavement, I thank you very much. I could go on and on and on, but I've been told that I've got a time limit. So I'm going to stop here with just one wish. May the good Lord continue to bless you, Elie, with health of body and strength of spirit, so that you may continue to do God's work and so that you may continue to bring blessing to me and to all of us for many, many more years to come. I was asked if I had any pictures to show the congregation tonight. I have no pictures of us to show you tonight, but know that I carry a picture of you in my heart and that I will do so always. Be a blessing, dear Elie, in the future, as you have been to all of us who love you in the past and until this day. Amen.